Hi guys, welcome back to Kes's Cuisine, where we satisfy your food cravings with easy and amazing recipes. Welcome back to the second episode of making things super fast and easy in your kitchen during the summer season. Today I am going to be showing you how to make 4 different amazing marinade for all your proteins, and I'm going to be marinating everything, and this is just a tip, a hack, just to make sure that this summer you are not stuck up in the kitchen. Okay, so come with me in this episode where I show you this beautiful, amazing, different, yummy, super easy marinade. Okay guys, do not forget to subscribe, to like, to share this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Today we made a lot of yummy marinades, but before we get into the marinade goodness, let's get into the proteins. Now I really love this chicken. It is native chicken, and I usually get it from Kaufland, from Edeka, and also from Netto. And the price is also ridiculously affordable for a whole chicken. I also love getting this big chicken towels that you usually get from the regular store. I also love adding gizzards to my monthly protein. I love adding turkey, and you can find this at Netto or Liddy. I like adding my cow leg, of course, for soup and stew. Definitely beef has to go in. I took off all my ring, going to wash my hands, and it was time for business. Now first things first, I cut up my chicken towels and my gizzard, washed up my cow leg. I already chopped my chicken, all of them, and then I got some beef strips that I'll be using for steak and for suya kind of things. And this was all my proteins. They were all washed, cut, and ready for action. Now that we are done with the proteins, let's start with our first yummy green sauce. Now for this, I'll be using some parsley, some serrano peppers, some jalapeno peppers. I'm going to be using some spring onions, some shallot. I'm also going to be using some onions, some garlic, some brown sugar, and I also love this Korean sauce, which I'll be using a whole bunch of them. But for this first one, I'm going to be using the green sauce. I also added some dark soy sauce, and then I am going to be using my olive oil. I added in some chicken spice, and I added in my orange for citrus, or for a citrus balance. Now I blended everything together. You can make yours a little more smoother. You can make your marinade a little more smoother. I'm going to add that to my first batch of chicken. You want to use your hands, so make sure your hands are clean, and I'm going to mix that all together and store them in a Ziploc bag. For our second marinade, we have this sweet buttermilk marinade. This is one of my favorite marinade. This is best for when you want to grill meat or put your meat in the air fryer. I love it so much. Firstly, we started off with our Greek yogurt, our pineapples, our seasoned cubes, some shallots, onion, and then you have to go on with your herbs. You can play with whatever herbs that you want, but as you can see, everything that I used, I'll list them down in the description box. I added in some pineapple to give me some sweetness, and I'm also going to be adding a little bit of orange juice just to add to that sweetness. And I added in some buttered milk. I added some chili pepper, and I'm also going to be adding this Italian all-purpose spice that I love so much. And I'm also going to be adding this chicken. Like I said for the first sauce, I will be using a lot of this Chinese or Asian curry paste. I really love it for marinade. It really elevates your flavor. Yeah. So for my second, I'm going to do the second process. Add it to a batch of my chicken, mix that all together, and store them in a Ziploc bag. And then for the remaining of your marinades, you can actually store them in a tin and keep them in the fridge, and I think it can last up to like 2 months or 1 month, depending on the quality of your fridge. Yeah, so I'm going to keep that batch of my chicken, and I'm also going to be using some of that part to marinate some of my turkey. Even though I get this spiced boxed turkey, there is nothing as better as spicing up your own protein with your own hands. And with this marinade, 10 out of 10. Okay, so we are going over to the third marinade, and I call this the dragon bread barbecue marinade. This is because it has a lot of heat on it has a lot of heat, and I skipped the part where I added in my scotch bonnet. It was not a lot of scotch bonnet, but maybe 4 or 5 scotch bonnet, and yeah, it was really hot. Anyway, as you can see, I added in some sweet pepper, some jambalaya pepper, I added in some shallot, and of course you can play around with your spices. I also added in this sweet chili spice, and I added in my all-purpose seasoning, my olive oil, this curry paste. When it comes to marinating, I love it so much. You can try it out to elevate your marinade game, okay? And this was what I used to marinate my chicken thighs and my gizzard, and I also use part of that to marinate my turkey. Now this marinade is actually really nice because it saves you time in the kitchen. You do this for one day, and you know that anytime you want to cook, just bring it out and just put it in the pot and start cooking. Next up, we have our soya marinade. Pretty easy, all-purpose seasoning, some soya pepper, some olive oil, and I am just going to stir and save it up in a Ziploc bag. This is good for soya and for steak. Easy peasy, but does the job. So I'm going to do my simple soup marinade. For this, I'm going to be using some of my cow leg. You can also add in some shaki if you want. For this, it is simple, easy. It is pretty easy. I added in some pepper mix, some all-purpose seasoning. You can play around with your herbs, and this was all the marinade I did for this video. So as you can see the name, we made some green marinade, some sweet butter milk marinade, some dragon bread marinade. We also made some soya marinade, some simple soup marinade, and yeah, that was all for this video. My Ziploc bags were so messy. I had to wash clean before I had to put them in the fridge. But tell me if this video was really helpful, because this really helps me a lot when it comes to cooking. First of all, your flavors are packed, like packed up in your meat when you want to cook it, because it has been marinating for God knows how long. Let me know in the comment section which of this marinade that you'll be trying, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Okay guys, that's all for this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. I don't know if I'm going to make it one more. You will see in my next video if I'll make one more or not. But if I do not make one more, thank you for coming along with me. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, enjoyed this series, and I'll see you guys in my next beautiful series. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, and I'll see you guys in my next series. Bye bye.